So they are finally here. Our bare root trees that I got from the Arbor Day Foundation. And well, what's great about that is today is December 5th. I am, of course, in Zone 6B, and it is 17 degrees outside, and the soil temperature is getting below 40, so it's not good. But in these situations, you got to know what to do, and that's what we're going to talk about today. So first and foremost, I think we need to get some reading out of the way. Then maybe some more reading out of the way to get these guys out of the water, which I didn't do the opening because yesterday it was like, I think 25, no, it was 25 degrees the day before, then it got up to 50 yesterday. But when I received them, the gel inside there, which is a moisture gel, it's just supposed to help keep the plant's roots moist, was actually frozen together. So I'm really hoping that they come out of it, but if they don't, they don't. Ended up getting these trees through the Arbor Day Foundation. So we're going to do our best to try to get them situated because I can't plant them. The deciduous would probably be okay, but essentially anything under 50 degrees in the soil temp, you really don't want to maneuver any type of plants from what I gather. We kind of tried it with a blackberry last year. It didn't make it, but the one that I did this method with actually did live through it, so I'm kind of hoping this works out. But let's just get after it. So essentially what I got, which I didn't know I was actually getting, but whatever, is 2 eastern redbuds, which they are not labeled, so that's cool. 1 Sargent crabapple, it's purple. 1 Washington hawthorn, which is yellow. 1 white flowering dogwood, which of course it's white. 5 Norway spruces. They're not labeled on the bark, but I'm sure we can tell the difference. And then 2 crepe myrtles, red bag. Oh, I think I pulled them out of the bag, so we might not be able to tell what those are either. Fun. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. All right, so our eastern redbud. Small rosy pink spring flowers are followed by reddish purple leaves in summer that turn yellow in fall. The shiny reddish brown 2 to 3 inch seed pods remain on the tree throughout winter. You can definitely tell it's 17 degrees. Like, I shut the salamander off and it's already getting chilly. We'll speed round it. I can't. The shiny reddish brown 2 to 3 inch seed pods remain on the tree throughout winter. So I'm really hoping that these kind of like maybe spread. Like, that would be kind of cool. Bunch of little eastern redbuds down by the garden. Mature height is 20 to 30 feet. Mature canopy spread 25 to 35 feet. Growth rate medium, 13 to 24 inches per year. So that's pretty cool. I mean, you get a foot to 2 foot of growth. I'll definitely have to look into how to like prune them and stuff just to make sure they look really cool because I'm kind of excited for them. They like full sun, partial shade, acidic or alkaline clay, loamy, moist, rich, sandy, well drained. Okay, so we got these guys soaked. So that guy's purple. That guy ain't got nothing. Purple. Let's see what we got here. That one is kind of questionable indeed. Oh, that's the Washington hawthorn. That'll make me sad if he don't live. Then, of course, our spruces. Those are cool. Did I already? I did. I didn't. Oop. All right. The spruces. Let's say 4 or 5. Ho! They can't count. Because that's only... Oh, wait. There is a little baby one in there. Look at that little guy. He ain't near as big as the other ones. That guy's going to have a split right there in the middle. That's going to all have to come off later. Or else it's going to look weird. Oh, I got the paper wet. Oh, I suck! That one? Yep, that's one. I did. That's white. Then I'm going to guess that you guys... No. 2 eastern redbuds. I'm going to say those are probably the 2 eastern redbuds. Then these are probably the crab myrtles. So 2 eastern redbuds, 2 crab myrtles. And we got some nice water for projects later. Sargent. I'll throw it up top because I'm going to butcher that. But it's a crabapple, and I'm not even trying these scientific names. They'll be up there as well. Let's see. It's purple. So it's this little guy. Profuse clusters of small white fragrant flowers in spring are followed by half-inch red berries that persist into winter and attract birds. New leaves are light green, later turning a darker green. Mature height is 6 to 10 foot, so it won't be much bigger than me. Mature canopy spread is 6 to 12 foot. Growth rate is slow, 12 inches or less per year. We're going to see if we can't boost that a little bit. So we got to fight deer and goat. Care where we going. Sun preference, full sun. Soil preference, acidic or alkaline, moist, rich, well drained. Washington hawthorn. I got one. The ID color is yellow. White spring flowers are followed by quarter-inch red fruits that stay on the trees into winter. Thorny stems produce reddish-purple leaves that change to dark green in summer, then to orange, scarlet, or purple in the fall. That's cool. I mean, purple in the fall would be cool. This tree has a high wildlife value. Dun, dun, dun. Maturity height is 20 to 30 feet. Mature canopy spread, 25 feet. Growth rate, medium, 13 inches to 24 inches per year. Sun preference is full sun. Soil preference, acidic or alkaline, clay, drought tolerant, loamy, moist, sandy, well drained, or wet. This tree doesn't care. Like the Washington hawthorn sounds like it's just the perfect tree for everybody, just across the board. Then we've got the white flowering dogwood. I got one of those. The ID color is white, which is just this little dinky guy. Showy white spring petal-like bracts are followed by glossy red, quote, half-inch fruits that ripen in fall and linger into winter. Summer's dark green leaves turn red, purple in fall. This tree has a high wildlife value, which is cool. Mature height is 20 to 25 feet. Mature canopy spread is 25 feet, so that's impressive. Medium growth rate with 13 inches to 24 inches per year. So, I mean, it would get pretty tall pretty quick. Sun preference, full sun to partial shade. So that's a handy little tree to have. Soil preference, acidic, clay, loamy, moist, rich, sandy, well drained. So it's a little more particular than the Washington hawthorn, but it is what it is. We'll take it because, I mean, it's a flowering dogwood. It's going to be freaking gorgeous. Norway spruce. We got 5 of those. I don't need the bark ID because that's it right there. It's the little guy. The little guy. I really hope he makes it because, I mean, I'm rooting for that guy. Rooting. The stiff dark green needles are retained on the tree for several years before dropping. Cones 4 to 6 inches long are formed around age 30. So yeah, I'll be like 60 some years old when this guy tries to reproduce. That's awesome. The seeds and tender foliage are eaten by birds and mammals. Plant 6 to 13 inches apart for windbreak. That's cool. Mature height is 40 to 60 feet. Mature canopy spread is 25 to 30 feet. Growth rate is medium, 13 to 24 per year to fast. So it can grow 25 or greater per year. So 25 inches per year. So that's 2 foot per year. We're going to look at how to make this little sucker get going. Sun preference is, of course, full sun. Soil preference, acidic, clay, drought tolerant, loamy, moist, sandy, well drained. Another perfect tree for whatever you got going on. You just slam them in the ground, call it good. I wish I could do that, but we're a little late to the party. All right, the crepe myrtle. I wonder if it's crepe myrtle or crab myrtle. Like, we're going to have to look that one up because I'm not exactly sure. I got 2 of them. It was the red bag, so it would be one of these little fellers over here. The striking flowers have wrinkled petals like crepe paper in, well, maybe it is crepe, in colors of white, pink, or red. They bloom from late spring to fall. The leaves in summer are dark green, changing in fall to yellows, oranges, and reds. Exfoliating thin gray bark exposes a smooth, varied color, underbark ranging from brown to gray. Mature height is 15 to 20 feet, so it's not super tall. Mature canopy spread is 6 feet to 15 feet. So it's not super wide, but I mean, it's still be a good little shade bush. Growth rate, medium, 13 to 24 inches per year. So, I mean, you get a 2 foot of growth. That's not too bad. I mean, from the size that it is, it'd be a little bit, but that's okay. Sun preference is full sun. Soil preference, acidic or alkaline, drought tolerant, moist, well drained. So another perfect tree just to put somewhere that you know nothing else is really going to grow in there. And that's pretty much all they really give us on these guys, which is cool. So we're going to do something that I wasn't planning on doing, and how I'm going to try to overwinter these to get it to where they stay alive. And after doing a whole bunch of research, I think I figured out how I want to do it. I'm not a super big fan of this, but I'm going to do what I got to do to make these guys work out. So we're just going to get our handy dandy 3-gallon grow fabric grow bags as per usual. Not a big fan of these ones. I wish I had the bigger ones, but this being an overwintering project, I'm not super concerned about it. So we're just going to take some of our Fox Farm Happy Frog, and it's pretty dry because I haven't had to use it much since doing seed starting and whatnot. So we're going to just, man, no matter how I do this without the assistance of my wife, this is going to be interesting. The thing we're going to do is grab one of these Norway spruces right here, and so you could see where the roots start. And then we're just going to go ahead and pop these ones off because they look like they got a little wet. That's okay. Just clean it up a little bit. Plus, most of these will get taken off whenever we're doing everything else. And so when we plant them, we want to plant them right about here. So that way all the roots, and that's the reason why we're using the 3-gallon pots instead of something smaller for overwintering, is because I want the roots to be able to be completely spread out. So we're going to plant it to right about there, just at the top of that root line. Any taller might let it rot. So I'm going to put some dirt in the bottom of it right quick, which is still going to be a chore. Should have got a bigger cup. Be all right. That's a lot of dirt. Help if this would just hold its form. There we go. Nope, still not going to. That ought to work. Like this dirt is fighting me. I'm holding it up so all the roots are getting pushed down while I'm adding the dirt. That way they don't get just crushed whenever I put them in at the top. And I mean, I know trees are a little bit different than a blackberry bush, but this worked really good to keep the one alive last year that we got outside of season. And this is essentially what they say to do if it's already gotten too cold or something in your area, is just to put them in some loose dirt until they can be planted outside. And there we go. The Norway spruce is done. We won't sit there and go through every one of those this time. Just gonna leave it kind of loose. I'm not gonna get real crazy with packing it down and stuff. I want it to stay standing up, but that's about it. And then it'll be the same thing with, so like this one I'm struggling with because it's the Washington hawthorn. And it's mostly because it doesn't have a lot of roots, but then I see like this here. So I'm thinking that it needs to be yay deep. And I don't think any of these cups will suffice for that. Yeah, so the hawthorn is going to have the same setup as the spruce. These guys have really long roots on them as well. The rest of the hawthorns. But it would be the same process for all the rest of these. Essentially right here where you see the roots start, that's the top of the tree. So you want to be right about in this general area to let it grow up it. Now for this one, the white flowering dogwood, it's got a pretty small root wad, so I'm actually just going to throw it in one of my cups. But I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to take it. I'm going to get a cup full of dirt. Just the Fox Farm Happy Frogs. I'm just going to put my finger right there above the roots a little bit. Let my fingers rest on there. Get it about as straight as I can. And then I'm just going to loose pack some dirt in there, like so. Nothing crazy. And then I'll probably water all these in just to keep them moist. But other than that, that's essentially what we're doing. All right, and that's how we're going to overwinter all of our trees. We got a little later than expected. We're going to let them hang out in here while it's warmer, but when it starts dipping down cooler, we might bring them in the house. I might go ahead and just leave them out here and see what happens. The most of them should, besides, of course, the Norway spruce. Anything evergreen is going to struggle while it's colder. The deciduous, which is the eastern redbuds, Sargent crabapple, Washington hawthorn, white flowering dogwood, crepe myrtles should all be fine even in the colder temperatures because they're going to try to root. But the evergreens are going to be the biggest struggle because they are just not really made to overwinter like this. They need more energy to keep themselves alive throughout the winter, and when the roots aren't connected to the dirt, and then the ground's frozen and everything else, they can't make good connection, and then they normally die. So hopefully this will fix the situation. We'll find out come this spring if they're still alive. We'll plant them out in the main garden. If they're not, well, stuff happens. At least there was 15 other trees planted in their place. So, all right, and if you like the video, go ahead and hit that like button. Go ahead and subscribe so you can see when our next video comes out, and we'll see you in the next one.